Alrighty-o. Oh, it is Friday. Everybody loves Friday. Friday means trains, and trains means good times. Welcome to Friday Evening Trains. As I said, it is Friday, and that means it is trains. And we are starting off, as per usual, in good old England on the original Great Western Mainline route. And we are going to be running Great Western Toothpaste. It's a typical 1994 morning here in London. You have just climbed aboard your first charge of the day, and in a sea service bound for Oxford, you have a Class 50 and a rake of Mark IIs for your consist today, as well as a variety of stops and a timetable to keep. Good luck. Uh, not too much going on this week. There was the release of the new German route that I believe was by RSS Low. Guard, good morning, driver. Open the doors here at Paddington. Departure time is 5:56. Alright, that's weird. So this is the Class 50's first appearance here on the channel. I don't think they were ever actually used on commuter services out of Paddington, but especially not in the Network Southeast era. They were mostly used on the West of England main line between Waterloo and Exeter. Indeed, Jessica, indeed. But then, of course, that makes you mine. And we're not even up against the buffers. What are we doing? Oh well, our train is also backwards, but that's fine. Oh no, a Crompton. On a... Do you now? Well, don't keep it to yourself. What you got? Wait, 5:36. Ha! God damn it. Apparently our departure time is actually 5:56. Ooh, Paddington to Westbury, huh? Paddington to Plymouth. That one at least makes sense. Alright, where are we stopping here? Slough, Maidenhead, Twyford, Reading, Didcot Parkway, Appleford, Cullum, Bradley, and Oxford. And then we are apparently running into the Oxford carriage sightings. Ah yes, from Bristol Temple Meads. It probably left at like 4 a.m. A little bit of action here. How would you have a passenger view? Very nice. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Not entirely surprising though. most analysts figured there was going to be um, some challenge by the other class ones. Nobody ever likes to see their lunch get eaten by someone else. Our signal is now green, so we are cleared for departure at 5:56. Anyway, yes, the Class 50, also known as Hoovers, were the staple of many long-distance services outside of... What's up, Ned? Many long-distance services, especially on the West Coast Main Line. They were quite... And in South Wales. Spent quite a bit of time. Next stop, Slough. Yeah, that is a good point, Jessica. But maybe, Norfolk Southern especially, because that really impacts the Meridian Speedway. Unless Canadian Pacific already went to them and decided they were um, they weren't going to interfere with that. Ooh, that's not good. Not much is up, Ned. Just playing some trains. What is up with you? Speed limit has now gone up to 40. Fair enough. What exactly happened there on the Pittsburgh line, Jessica? It wouldn't surprise me. We've reached 40. As we head out of London here. Well, that's good that it doesn't sound like it's too serious. Speed limit is now up to 50. I have to remember what the max speed on these things are. I'm pretty sure it's 100. I mean, maybe. If it's not a... That's not necessarily a PSR issue. I mean, it might be. I guess I'd need more details. We've now reached 50. We'll take an opportunity to enjoy the Network Southeast livery. Which does look pretty good on these little gals. We are driving number 50033 Glorious. Speed limit is now up to 100, which I believe is the maximum permitted speed of the Class 50. The Class 50 is an older DLC for TS, but it is still a goodie. I guess that is fair. But, I mean, poor train building has been an issue, you know, as long as railroads have been a thing. So again, it's not necessarily a PSR issue, but it's also not necessarily not a PSR issue. My point is, without a few more details, I'm gonna go ahead and sit on the fence about this one, at least until we get some more details on the matter. On the right, we just passed Old Oak Common Depot, the main maintenance depot for trains on the Great Western Main Line in and out of London Paddington. We're now passing Acton Station on the right, with the connection from the North London line also coming in. And further on the right is Acton Yard. The line speed has gone up to 125, but we are still limited to 100. Now, see, that is fair that they did kind of get themselves on that one, so that one is definitely fair to criticize as a PSR issue. We're now passing Ealing Broadway Station. Pretty sure that was Ealing Broadway. Yes. We're now passing West Ealing Station. This is Hanwell Station. Shortage of AI, that's for sure. I believe this is Southall. Indeed it is. I think at this point I'm just going to go ahead and leave the throttle in full whack, and we'll just see how fast she can go. We're now passing Hayes and Harlington Station. In a short distance, we are going to leave behind the end of the overhead line equipment. In real life, in this area is the flyover connection to the line to Heathrow. I'm not sure when exactly that was built. I'm not sure if that would have been here at the time of this scenario. It's not modeled in the route, so it's kind of a moot point. But like I said, in real life, that is somewhere around here. Yeah, exactly, Jessica. Although technically, yeah, it was Rio Grande that bought the Southern Pacific, and then rebranded itself as Southern Pacific since the Southern Pacific brand was more recognizable. I believe this is Ivor? No, West Drayton. I don't think Rio Grande really had much of a problem, outside of the fact that Southern Pacific's problem was that it was just a railroad that had too many route miles and not enough traffic to support all of it. But Rio Grande had the deep pockets of, I believe it was Philip Anschutz to feed off of, so I think it does ultimately come down to the Union Pacific problem of acquiring too much too fast. Langley Station. We have about 2 miles to go before getting to well, it is quite the honor to be agreed with by the legendary Mr. Springer. There's apparently some interesting things are going on with the signaling system. It was a double yellow that just jumped to green. But nevertheless, should be slowing down for our stop here at slough. And that one is... Oh, no, I take it back. It is going to clear for us. Some more aggressive braking maybe in order. So on come the handbrakes. X. Alright, take off the handbrakes. We'll also ease up on the air brakes just a touch. And then we are running pretty well ahead of schedule. That ought to do it. I believe heading off to the left there is the Henley on Thames branch. Oh, no, my bad. It is the branch to Windsor Central. Yeah, Windsor and Central. I probably look to see what the well, yeah, I'd probably look to see what the station at the end of the branch was. Next up, Maidenhead. So we are on the down fast line. To our right is the up fast line, and across the way are the up and down slow lines. We are going to be 4-track all the way to Didcot, at which point we will be on the double line to Oxford. right is Burnham Station. We've just encountered a flashing double yellow signal, meaning we are going to be turning off the main line, or the fast lines onto the slow lines up ahead for our stop at Maidenhead. What is this? Oh, Taplow. We're going to have a 40-mile-an-hour limit as we turn off of the fast line. So, applying the brakes. We're now down to 40. Henley on Thames branch? Nope, that's Bourne End. The Bourne End branch. I think it's at Twyford. Yes, at Twyford, it's the Henley on Thames branch. But I got there in the end. Ugh. If we were to get a redone Great Western Main Line, which I do hope we would, because that would just be nice. I hope we get all these various branches. Next stop, Twyford. Just for the operational variety, if nothing else. I think the Windsor branch is the most complicated one. Ready control. Hello, driver. Do some engineering work at Twyford. You'll call it Platform 4. Be aware that you will have a 25 mile an hour crossover on approach, and a 40-mile crossover after. Also, be sure to toot the horn at the workers. So my speed limit on the slow lines here is now 75. So unfortunately, no more chucking it in 100 and just letting her go. For the time being. Having a wee bit of fun. Drifted just a little bit over there. But it's alright. This was the weather from the original scenario, but I guess I could be wrong. I contemplated it briefly. I guess my biggest problem is that I play ATS on mouse and keyboard. We're getting a flashing double yellow, which means we are getting close to Twyford. I don't think we'd have that originally, or in real life for this, especially not for a 25-mile-an-hour crossover. But, oh well. But yeah, I play ATS on with mouse and keyboard, which is a little uh, difficult. Also, I don't drive very well. And be honestly more like American Crash Simulator. But it certainly is a possibility. I'm not ruling it out entirely, but we'll see as we go along. A little bit more. Sounding the horn to alert the workers. Well, unfortunately, I I do have the vanilla companies, so oh wow, we're all of a sudden 30 seconds late. That train is departing onto the Henley-on-Thames branch. Working hard or hardly working, are we, fellas? Next step, ready. That's a fun little scene. So you're crossing back over onto the appropriate track. Ugh. So some more facts about the Class 50s, they were originally introduced pre-tops, and the liveries included in the pack are BR Green, BR Blue pre-tops, several variations of BR Blue post-tops, which was, I forget what TOPS stands for, but basically it was the numbering system introduced into the BR vernacular to classify trains and locomotives from the original method to the current method, basically having them go from like D1000 to class 25. That's, I don't believe, correct, but as an example. There are several different varieties of BR Blue included. Mostly coming down to variations in the roof coloring. There's also a large logo, and Isambard Kingdom, the Isambard Kingdom Brunel special livery, and the original and revised Network Southeast liveries. The Class 50 spent most of their life on passenger service, although in the, I believe, late 80s, one was tested by rail freight, for freight usage, although nothing really ever came of that test, and that livery, it was repainted into rail freight, but that livery has not been included in the pack. But they certainly are a cool looking model, I will say that. Forward warning for an upcoming 50-mile-an-hour limit as we come into Reading. Coming in from the left are the electrified lines out of London Waterloo that connect back to such locations as Aston and Woking. We did not get down below 50 before we hit the speed limit, but that is okay. This is not Reading in its present configuration, as it was redone in, 2011, I think it was, 2010, 2011. Somewhere around there. I believe the updated version is included in the Southwestern Expressway's Reading route, based on what I can tell from the screenshots, although I cannot say for sure, as I have not picked it up yet. Reading to Bournemouth. But that does bring up a good point. Over here is the Reading Train Care Depot. Additionally, this is the line heading south here splits off into the line towards Basingstoke, mostly used by cross-country services, as well as the line towards Newbury, Bedwin, Westbury, Taunton, Exeter, St. David's, Plymouth, and Penzance. mostly, well, actually exclusively used by what is now Great Western Railway services to the southwest. This is a route that offers the largest time save, or not the most direct route between London and Cornwall. I believe it shaves at least 1 hour, possibly almost two, uh, via the traditional Great Way round via Bristol. Next up, Didcot. Again, in real life, in the modern day, there is now a flyover to the west here to allow Great Western Main Line trains to cross over the lines from the southwest and south. That was... I don't remember quite when that was built. Certainly within the last 15 years. And just allows some fluidity around what is a very, very busy junction in real life. I believe that is also included in the Southwestern Expressway's route. I do know it is in the Just Trains Western Mainline route. Or Western Lines, or whatever that route is called. I can't remember off the top of my head. I do intend on picking up the Southwestern Expressway's route. I do find the operations in the Southwest very interesting. And to pick it up soon. Speed is going up to 75 again. As we had a straight shot here to Didcot, calling at any of the stations en route there. Speed limit is now going up to 100. I don't think this is Orange. No, this is Tilehurst. So it's Tilehurst, then Pangbourne, then Goring and Streatley, then Chilton. too shabby. We're now passing Pangborn Station. You know, maybe I am too hard on these older TS routes. Are they quite up to the same standard? No, and I mean, more recent DLC does look pretty out of place on them, but just in the difference in texture qualities. But as far as routes go, they're not the worst. I've softened on Cajon Pass a bit. It's not terrible. That was good, Go Monkey. Hats off, hats off. That was clever. Old Grey Mother. Wow. Wait, is it Goring and Streetly or Goring and Steetly? I can never remember. Oh no, it is Goring and Streetly. You're now passing Cholsey Station. I have not. I don't have Western Main Lines, but I have seen it. I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm a pretty big PTG rail fan, so I have seen his video, his Cardiff to Paddington video, which covers this section, but I've not driven it myself. More fifth board warning for an upcoming 70-mile-an-hour speed limit. Looks like we're running about a minute early, so no need to play this too aggressively. Oops, wrong way. Double yellow, so we are cleared into the platform at Didcot. But I was saying earlier I would like to see this route. Yeah, I think if you watch the PTG Cardiff to London video, I think he does talk about there are some broken signals along this portion of the route. The line to the right is the avoiding line around the station. But we are pulling in. But I'm sure it is an improvement. But I would like to see a redone version of this route. Maybe extending it out to Swindon. A floating Jiva. Not sure what you're talking about there, Jessica. Yeah, we're way early. But, I mean, I'd like to see one even more recent than the Western Main Lines version, you know, with the full electrification out to Didcot. And then, like I said, possibly an extension to Swindon or even Bristol Parkway. But that might be asking a bit. And at that point, if you're going to do that, you might as well just do it all the way out to Bristol Temple Meads. And then at that point, it might as well just be Western Main Lines. I think Western Main Lines was a little more extensive than that. Although I don't think actually by much. I think it went to Cardiff and it went to Oxford. It might have gone all the way down to Exeter. Now that I think about it, um, the original it might have partly had the original Bristol to Exeter line, but certainly doesn't have the line via Westbury, which was added later. And then we obviously also had the Cornish main line extensions down to Plymouth and Penzance. Oh, I'm sure it does. I actually, it's funny. I actually did have a thought about that quite a while ago. I was like, it was gonna be. Next up is Appleford. Um, I was gonna do it was gonna be called like Americana, and you were gonna be pulling a freight out of Tin Yard on the original East Coast mainline route, with like BNSF SE70 Aces. Um, but I thought about it a little bit, and then I'm like, but why would? What's the audience for that? Um, although to be fair, there is, if you know Whitemead, um, he did, I believe it was Whitemead. He made a scenario for Sherman Hill where you're using a Class 66. Oh, yeah, for sure. To our right is Didcot Train Center, a fairly active yard. And to the left is the leads to the power station, the Didcot Power Station. Very famous. It was closed in 2013, and I believe the cooling towers have actually since been demolished. Yeah, gauge clearance probably would be a problem. I didn't ever actually get that far because I figured nobody was ever going to play it because, near as I can tell, the crossover between the British and U.S. audience is basically me and not RB Jets, not Silent. The line coming in from the left was the connection between the Great West to the Great Western Main Line towards Swindon. I mean, that's how I buy most of my DLC. So we're now on the line towards Oxford. I don't know that this is technically part of the Cotswolds line. I mean, we've had the versions of this discussion before. It's basically comes down to like loading gauge. Lead to Appleford sidings, just branched off on the left. We're now coming in hot to Appleford Station. The kind of heavy stopping service we're about to do for the rest of the run here into Oxford was not what the Class 50 was designed for. In fact, it was that kind of service was quite hard on them, and they suffered terribly in terms of reliability because of it, which is what eventually led them getting moved onto the West of England line, where the stops aren't quite as frequent, and they were allowed to kind of get up and stretch their legs a little more. Yep, 50 plus Mark IIs. The Mark IIs, it should be noted, are not included in the Class 50 pack. They are from the Network Southeast Class 47 pack. But it is pretty cool that we have them nonetheless. Kind of fun. Something a little different. I think I do remember that. Code Monkey, I do think I remember reading that or hearing that somewhere. Next up is Cullum. Yeah, yeah. Yep, you are right, Code Monkey. No, I'm pretty sure I heard that somewhere else. But you are correct, Jessica. Genesis would probably have less difficulty. I don't know that it wouldn't have any. But the Genesis was designed specifically with a smaller body to avoid clearance issues on American mainlines. That might have been it. Look at the measuring tape out first. I don't know. That would also mean returning to, like, local halt operations. Which, besides the Caledonian Sleeper, it's like... the Holyhead to Piccadilly services, I think, are the only ones they... because those use the Class 67 Mark III sets, I believe. Outside of that, I don't know that there are any other regularly scheduled local halt services. I guess there's the Jacobite, but that doesn't really count because that one's Steam. An odd platform arrangement here at Cullum. Getting sweet time. There we go. I don't think that's disabled compliant. Yeah, pretty much. I should do more with the Class 50. Next up is Radley. What? Yeah, go ahead. Oh! Huh! All these years I thought that was just a mistake in the root building. But no, that's what that platform actually looks like. Oh my god. That would be amazing. Although I don't know that English trains are allowed to have horns that are that loud. Maybe. That's hilarious, though. Oops. Alright, we're good. One second. Let us get into the platform here. Oh, nice! Cool. Oh wait, that reminds me. Um, I've been saying that the upcoming digital train model. Next stop, Oxford. There we will empty the train and send it into the depot. I've been saying that the upcoming digital train model CSX SD45-2 pack is going to include unbranded Conrail and Erie Lackawanna liveries. What I've been forgetting to mention is that he will also be releasing a day one patch, not for the actual DLC, but on, I'm sure, like RWA. That will include full branding for those liveries, and there's possibly one more that's going to be unbranded. I can't remember, but certainly, and I think for the Erie Lackawanna caboose, that's also going to be included. So those will have an official logo patch that just won't be part of the actual DLC, but will be up on, if you imagine, basically, anytime a BNSF DLC has gotten released in the last 6 years, where so we're talking Raton, Racetrack, Arizona Divide, all of that. Some kind soul has always put a branding patch on Railworks America for that. The same will happen in this case. Yeah, I mean, having some place nice to run them would be great. Although they wouldn't be terribly out of place in a 90s racetrack scenario. Ooh, yes. That would also be a good place for the Erie Lackawanna ones. Coming in from the right is the branch from Morris Cali. I think he's released 2 versions of the route, hasn't he? I thought there was a modern day one and then a backdated one. On the left is Hinksey Sidings. Not sure how the emergency brakes got tripped. I didn't hit backspace, but... And I thought I acknowledged the AWS in time, but... Apparently it did not feel so. I guess we'll have to accept driver error on that one. Crab Orchard and Egyptian. I feel like we've talked about that before. But you'll have to refresh my memory. Little bit, yeah. Apparently, the residents of Oxford don't like to be up at 7:15 on a weekday. Not that I can relate. That's right. God, that thing makes the most obnoxious noise. Have kind of like a Strasbourg situation. Good morning, driver. This is Oxford Control. You are lined into the depot. Be sure that the switches are set for siding 1. Let's see. They are not set for siding 1. Ah, they are. So if we were to continue on, this would take us towards Banbury, as well as uh, Hereford, Great Malvern, and or sorry, just Malvern, and Worcester. Good work, driver. We'll break down the train here so you can take a break. Scenario complete. So that was Great Western Toothpaste. Yeah, good little run that. I think that was in my Network Southeast obsession phase, because I think Toothpaste to Brighton came out at a similar point. Um, but anyway, um, give me just a moment, and we will continue right along. I would agree. Everyone needs an NSC obsession phase. NSC was just, I don't know what, but they were cool. Just kind of a fun little era to, recreate. Anyway, we are popping back across the pond. Um, Over to the good old US of A, and we are getting on to the Stevens Pass route. And we're not going to be running the section between Skycomish and Scenic because, well, we did that once already, and, well, that once was quite enough. So, but in this case, we're going to be running Take the S Train. And BNSF operates a number of S trains between the Midwest and West Coast. S trains are the railroad's lowest priority intermodals, usually consisting of double-stacked 20 and 40-foot shipping containers. S trains operating out of the port of Long Beach have been known to top 15,000 feet. Those operating out of the ports of Seattle and Tacoma are shorter, owing to siding capacity on the Northern Transcon. Take charge of train STAC-LPC running between Tacoma and Logistics Park, Chicago. Wait out to meet at Bern and then head for the valley. The Scenic subdivision is busy though, so don't expect a smooth run. Good luck. I'll be honest, Jessica, I didn't read that. I kind of half read it out of the corner of my eye. So I thought you said it was an ex-Army 000, and I was really confused. It is the rarely talked about hovering steam train. BNSF Scenic Sub-Dispatch. BNSF 7214 East, this is dispatch. BNSF 7212 West is approaching East Bern right now. Once he clears, he will be cleared to proceed east. The signal may not clear once the westbound has cleared. So, once the westbound has cleared, press the switch. It should clear as soon as you approach it. Wow, that looks good. Oh, man. Yeah, for sure, Ned. Damn. So yeah, as soon as I saw that the Montana Highline route came with these 40-foot well cars, this was one of the very first ideas I had. So. Exactly, Code Monkey. Yeah, that's true, Jessica. I don't know, this just looks really pretty for some reason. It's not just the sky, though. Just the whole aesthetic of the route. I mean, that could be part of it, though. Soon, Code Monkey. Soon is the answer. They do, kind of, don't they? I always use them as kind of a substitute for UPS trailers, in my thinking. But you're right, they are pretty evocative of roadway trailers. Oh, wait, no, it's not actually over. Okay, no, it actually isn't. Floating couplers. Alright, we should double check that the switch clears. It's gonna be Union Pacific 5. Yeah, a little bit. Alright. Can we go, Mr. Dispatcher? What are we waiting for? It's the moon. I thought that was a hot air balloon for some reason. Oh, yeah? Oh, there we go. You now got the switch. Even if we did it in a less than official way. If I was just, if I had done this with a pure Gevo set, I would definitely be using dynamics. But because we have a -9 in here, I don't trust it, so. We're gonna have to do this the old school way. Not sure how why would I would find that surprising, but that's definitely interesting. Very very cool, Jessica. I've never gotten quite that into it, but I have tried to clean up my my pop-ups with radio communications over the years. Hmm. Very cool. I guess when I do it, I do more of an analytical approach, but I think that's just more because I'm a scenario creator. So I'm always checking things when I play scenarios. Try implies that you weren't successful, which is unfortunate. That would have been cool. Yeah, I stay in the cab. Enjoy some of these dramatic vistas. Ah, okay. So when you say hired on CP, was that um in like an operations capacity, or were you looking um or you were looking ah, okay. Very cool. Nice. Good for you. Excuse me, you're descending a rather stout 2.1% grade. Fair enough. Now passing the approach signal for the sighting at Merritt. Yeah, I think I've thought about this off and on. I've I've never wanted to. I mean, not never. Like when I was a kid, I thought about being an engineer, like a train engineer, um, versus a civil engineer, which is what I am now. Um, but I I didn't think about trying to get a job um, with a railroad as um, a non-train driving engineer. Um, which I guess I could have looked, but it never occurred to me. But I wanted to. Use TSW. Those physics are, I think, closer. I'm trying to think. But there's not really a lot of railroading um in my area. And I kind of wanted to stay here in this area when I graduated, so didn't quite end up working out. But definitely, if the opportunity were ever to arise to go and work in like a railroad's engineering department, I would definitely most likely jump at the chance. But I'm definitely happy with where I am now. Wow, that's impressive. Oh. Yeah, you got me there. I was like, wow, a big government project. A big government project going exactly as planned? But I see now where I should have that should have been my first clue. Once we get down to merit, we'll be off the steepest part of the grade. And the speed limit accordingly is going to go up to 45. Maybe this is because this is the first time I've run Steven's Pass on the new rig, so I have not had a chance to fully experience it. But this definitely does benefit from the higher horsepower. Oh boy. Thought it was partially up and running. Um, but maybe I'm thinking of because I thought um If you watch the end of the last run of the HST video on the GWR YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure that's Crossrail that's there between Reading and Paddington. You see some train sets, but I could be wrong. That might have been it, or I might have been confusing it with something else. That's certainly possible. But that is pretty startling that Crossrail isn't up and running yet. They've been working on that for a while now. I might have still been in high school or close to it. Oh man. Slowly working through the, well, we're not in the siding, but past the siding here at Merritt. Speed limit's now gone up to 45. Man, I wish G-Tracks made routes more frequently. They're so good at it. Like, this route is awesome. Not sure why we're having so much trouble accelerating here. Doesn't look like we have any handbrakes applied. Honestly, it's kind of like Keith Ross. I wish Keith Ross still made Roots. BNSF 7214 East, this is dispatch. We'll be putting you in the hole at Winton for a meet with 1 westbound, BNSF 7366 West. You will likely have to wait 10 to 15 minutes for him to pass you. Wait. Good God. Well, I hope then my vamping skills are fresh. So I really had an amber over amber at the last signal. I did say vamping, Code Monkey. If we're gonna have a 10-minute wait at Winton, we're gonna need some vamping. There you go. That's a good one. Put on some braking. So we have a 25-mile-an-hour limit upon entering the siding. We have a red over yellow, meaning we will be stopping at the next signal as expected. And then we are turning off our current path, also as expected. Honestly, one of the best things I've ever stolen in terms of scenario creation techniques was the system for programming meets into scenarios that is used on the included career scenarios for the Montana Highline route. Instead of having a stop um, instruction at the far end of the siding, you have a go via at the near end. And then once you put in the opposing AI, you can. It took some toying, or it takes some toying sometimes, which was the case here, which is why we have such a long wait. I couldn't start it any sooner than it does, and have the meet occur here. It would have held us in burn for another like half hour, which obviously doesn't make for a great scenario playing experience. But the advantage of doing it this way is that then by avoiding the stop instruction, you're not bound by what time you arrive at the stop instruction. So if you're kind of slow in getting down there, sometimes the signal could be green while you're still waiting for the stop instruction to time out. And also then you're not, you don't necessarily have to stop right up against the signal, which is where the stop markers usually are. And that's not usually how things are done. Trains usually stop pretty well clear of the rear signal of a siding, or the far signal of a siding, especially if there's a level crossing at that point, because usually they'll try not to foul road crossings for extended period of time, because then they get crabby calls from the municipality. I mean, they are and they aren't. I mean, for ending a scenario, they're in a decent enough place, because who cares, but... For meets, they're not in ideal places, but... But this method just offers more flexibility anyway. In terms of running the scenario. Which is always a good thing, because nobody's ever going to play it exactly how you intend. I guess that's not entirely true either. A lot of times they do stop pretty close to the signal, but in some cases they don't. I mean, usually that's how it works. I mean, the only problem is having the AI stop at the other end of the siding isn't very realistic. Because that's kind of the point of you being in the siding, is that it's the train that's continuing past you. If I'm understanding your meaning correctly. And I mean, And sometimes you're like me and you just don't know when to stop when you're putting together an AI train. So sometimes you make an AI train that's longer than the actual siding is. I think I did that in eastern Montana bluebonnets. There's one meet you have where the passing train is literally longer than the siding, so it's like a 2.5 mile long train. Anyway, right here seems like a good enough place to stop for now. I wish it would do that thing where once the train stops, the gates would come up, but since they would in real life, but I guess that's too much to ask. I like that there are sounds coming from inside the building. That's clever. Let's see. Nope, not moving yet. That's a nice view. Yeah, and I'm no good at scripting, so there's that problem too. Um, Although to be fair, I've never tried Lewis scripting, but I have tried other kinds of coding before, and it hasn't gone well. I just don't have the patience um, to troubleshoot code. I mean, it's bad enough having to troubleshoot scenarios a lot of the time. Um, Adding Lewis script on top of that would probably just push me over the edge. Like today, I was working on a new scenario. Exactly. I was working on a scenario, and um, I was trying to, without giving too much away, I was trying to set up an overtake, where you driving the passenger train overtake a slower freight on the goods lines or the slow lines. But for whatever reason, it was just giving me the uh, no path to destination error because like it needed reversing or the electrification was wrong, or it had to go across turntables. And I'm like, it's a diesel hauled train. It's on the right track. Like there's no turntables. So I don't know what the deal was. So I eventually had to give up and take out the AI, but even that was bad enough. Man, this lighting is just top notch. Oh boy. I have always liked the look of BNSF's color scheme in Sunset, though. It just works really well in golden hour light. That's probably one of the best examples I have. A spotter, huh? That doesn't look like it. At least not at the 5th car. It would seem so. But what would I know? I'm just sitting here playing with the Switch stand. Man, these well cars are just modeled so well. Love it. We need more articulated stuff in the game. I think they could make it better where there was some 20-footers sprinkled in there. And there was also the option for single loads. So you'd have a mix of double and singles. As per reality, but aside from that, I mean, these are definitely a great first step. Well, I mean, we do have those from Raton Pass and Arizona Divide, but I'd like some COFC spine cards. Yeah. Love some COFC loads. Still not on the move. You know, the funny thing about that photo is, I took that, I think it was, 2018, which was my sophomore year of college. And despite growing up along that branch line, that was the first time I'd ever photographed a train on the BNSF West Chicago branch. And I chased it too, which was really fun. But yeah, all those years I'd never gotten around to photographing that local, but indeed, I've got it a couple times since then. But the problem is you have to catch it during daylight savings time, because by the time it finishes its switching up in Batavia, it's usually about 4 or 5 o'clock, and so I caught it. It was October when I caught it, so I got it in the nice early evening light in fall. But After daylight savings time, it'd pretty much be dark. Hmm. That is a bummer, but there's still quite a few customers on that branch. There's sounds coming from within the tunnel. The Winton Tunnel. Notice, this is private property. Trespassers are warned to keep off. The BNSF Railway Co. Before raising track, call Division Engineering. Nope, not 24. Oregon? Why do you have Oregon plates? You have Washington plates. You have Idaho plates. You have Idaho plates. Idaho plates. Washington plates. Why is it so hard to find a car with Washington plates in Washington? Alright, I'm pretty sure it's 25. Is it 25? Apparently not. Oof. Oh man. Uh-oh. That's not good. Our ETA is ticking up with each second, which usually means it thinks we should have gone by now. Which probably means the scenario glitched. So let's see if resuming works. Sometimes saving and resuming it'll force it to kick out a glitched AI, which hopefully it does here. Yep. Get permission to pass. That's unfortunate, but sometimes that's just how it goes. sure why it's having so much trouble, but... For some reason, the Jivo always turns on the step lights when you save and resume. So you have to flick the switch on and off. Speed limit coming out of the siding is 25, but it will be 45 once we get into back onto the main line. That's the only siding where we're going to have to take a meet on this journey, so I think we should have a clear run all the way down to Kashmir, which is our final stopping point. KCALN. Kansas City Alliance? But I don't think that's the destination code for Alliance. And it should be KCK. Ah! I only have one or two, don't I? I know I have Adriana U-Boots and then KCM SIO. So that's now going up to 45. And we are now entering the Winton Tunnel. I do have... I have at least one for Majestic Falls. I have a Christmas competition scenario for Majestic Falls. But, yeah, that surprises me that I don't have... I've tried making a few for Majestic Falls, but I guess I've just never, succeeded. Something always caused it to glitch out. Still, feels like something I should rectify. Apparently our curse now is we're just going to have to tab every last signal. But, oh well. Can I just search files? Files you've posted. Apparently not. Dang. As the one who made this scenario, Code Monkey, I can hopefully assuage your fears. We're now passing through the Swede Tunnel, and let you know that we are not going to have any other meats in this scenario. Unless the game absolutely just decides to freak out. Problem is, just searching Workshop for Majestic Falls is going to turn up like a lot of scenarios. I mean, I curse out the game on a daily basis, so. A list of workshop scenarios. Huh. Well, if this list is indeed comprehensive, and I have no reason to believe it's not, then that is rather surprising. That, Yes! I am well aware, Jessica. I was going to say something to that effect at the end of the stream. Oh no, that one's green. But yeah, apparently, I've only made one scenario for the Majestic Falls route. That is, startling. I think is the word. We're now entering the Chumstick Tunnel. missed that was a post. You know, it's funny. I never think of these kind of containers as being like packed full of stuff. But a few months ago, I saw a picture in one of the Chicagoland railfan Facebook groups. I think it was a Canadian National train. Um, Basically, I think it got routed somewhere with improper clearance and for double stacks, and so um, the top of a container ended up smashing against, I think it was a bridge or something, and uh, obviously ripped apart the container, and and that container just happened to be full of new TVs, and so they were yeah, exactly, and they were just kind of like neatly packed uh, into that container, and that container must have been full. But yeah, it was just a bunch of broken TVs, kind of all spilling out. I mean, as awful as that video is in terms of uh, the amount of cars that are being wasted, that video of the Autorex getting peeled open is still really cool. We're cruising down a 1.5% grade towards Leavenworth. I just remembered that that's going to come through on my that's the audio that is going to come through. Anything for those views, Code Monkey. Anything for those views. I think we kind of snuck that one in. There you go. Never noticed these horses before. Huh. We're now passing the west end of the siding at Leavenworth. We're now starting to get into the more agricultural area of the route. There you go. There you go, Jessica. I can think of worse ways to spend my days. Now passing the Leavenworth Amtrak station. So we're going to be passing less straight up forests and more orchards. I'm going to have to pass on that deal, Ned, but thank you for the offer. Thank you for the thank you for the respect, Ned, and you can tell him I know you are, but what am I? Good, thank you, Ned. Mhm. Couple of nice little wooden bridges on this part of the route. This is one of the best parts of the route. Got the Wenatchee River down below. You're just rolling along this super high fill. Speed limit is dropping to 35 up ahead as we roll through the town of Peshastin. There you go, Cuban. And welcome to the stream, or at least to the chat. I don't know if you've been lurking, or if you just popped in to be a jerk. Let's see, how far are we from? 8 3/4 miles. Not too far to go. I think the section between Wenatchee and Leavenworth is probably my favorite part of this route. Although the western stretch between Everett and about Gold Bar is also really nice. And passing through the town of Dryden. And passing one of quite a few cold storage warehouses on this side of the pass. also like too that this route included a track texture with guardrails for bridges. It's a nice little touch. And there are just some really nice looking bridges on this part of the route in general. Pretty much. I mean, I guess. We're now going to be running along the bank of the Wenatchee River, pretty much all the way into Kashmir. This might sound a little herder, but being at SF 7214 East, this is dispatch. We'll be putting you in the hole at Kashmir to be overtaken by a higher priority eastbound. Pull to a stop at the east end of the siding to clear the grade crossings at the west end. But the scenic subdivision definitely lives up to its name. But I don't ever remember this route looking this good though. So just another added benefit to the upgraded setup. I guess so. I guess so, Jessica. That's... Hey, thanks for the follow, C. Nickel. I did. I put them all into full actually as a joke. Oh, that's weird. Sorry to hear that, C Nickel, but glad you're back. But yeah, Codemunk, yeah, I did. I pretty much, I put them all into full as a joke because I didn't think it would actually run. And then I tried loading, I think it was a South London network scenario, and the game didn't like die. Oh shit. And so I just kind of left them. So outside of like super dense areas, it gets like stupid high frame rates. Like, what are we getting right? Now we're doing about 60. Yeah, I don't think I have any anti-aliasing. To your point, Jessica, I mean, there's the Empire Builder, but I guess it would be nice to have some more frequent passenger service just to be able to enjoy the scenery. I think that ground signal was supposed to be flashing yellow, but it was just blank over yellow. But that's fine. We know what's up. Another cold storage warehouse here at Kashmir. And there's no marked speed limit for the siding, but I'm pretty sure it's 25. We're also passing now the original Great Northern Kashmir Depot, which does no longer see passenger service. Because we're pulling into a passing siding C Nickel, so we're stopping at the east end of it, so we're not going super fast. Make sure we stop safely and not derail the train. It may not be fun, but it is safe. Choo choo. Choo choo. We're pulling into the siding at Kashmir. Is that ASMR enough for you, Cuban? Also, it's only 3 hours. Just for you, Sneakle. We'll keep it going. I'm glad you need Ned, more pizzazz, Ned, but unfortunately I can't provide any Ned or any more pizzazz to meet your Neds. Apparently Code Monkey does not vibe with the ASMR. I mean, if you're asking, if you give me $5, if I'll name something in the next scenario the Code Monkey Express, I mean, I'd be down. But, not really. I'm not really looking to make any money off of this. This is just a fun little fun little hobby. Uh, just a nice way to relax at the end of the week. Play some trains. Do some hanging out. A little bit more, a little bit less. I don't really have any photos of Clag. Besides, for Clag, you really need video. Because you need sound. Alright. That is our arrival at Kashmir. Looks like we'll be here for a while. Might as well grab a quick stretch. Scenario complete. Alright. That is going to do it for this week. As Jessica mentioned earlier in the stream, I am pushing up Fridays in the Valley this month to next week, because the week after next is Thanksgiving, and I will not be streaming. So beyond that, trains will be back December 3rd. Let's see here. As a reminder, that was Take the S Train for the Stevens Pass route. Everything you see here can be played on Steam Workshop. Link to that is on the homepage on Twitch and in the link and in the description of this VOD on YouTube. Be sure to like the Facebook page for updates on scenarios and other garbage. Sometimes I post there. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Catch all the VODs. It is a week or two out of date now. I think it's only 2 weeks out of date. I don't think I've gotten around to last week's yet. Absolutely. I mean, that's what I do. So yeah, Fridays in the Valley next week. Links are in the various places. You know the drill by now. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.